Okay, so I hope everyone's having a great week, and we are in October, so essentially we have about 3 months left in this year. So 75% of the year is done. We got 3 months left. This is your time to shine. For those of you that are familiar with sports or that watches sports, you know that the fourth quarter, that's what we're in. The fourth quarter is when the game is won or lost. So no matter how little you've done this year, you can go ahead and turn this year around and make this year your greatest year ever, but you got to put your foot on the gas. And this is the time that you got to go ahead and act. Don't say to yourself, you know what, 2018 is going to be a better year for me. No, make 2017 your greatest year yet. Go ahead and give yourself some momentum so when you get to 2018, that's going to be an even better year for you. All right? So, anyway, this week I want to tell you the story about the stonecutter. Now, the stonecutter, guy that cuts stone, is walking around just feeling really bad for himself. You know, he's just thinking that, man, I have the worst life ever. I can't believe this, man, and just really walking around almost like sad and depressed and whatnot. And as he's walking, he passes this beautiful home, and this home is owned by the wealthy merchant. Now, the wealthy merchant's house is just beautiful, right? And he has all these jewels and everything that you can imagine, right? And the wealthy merchant, as the name says, is very wealthy. So he has all sorts of stuff and whatnot, beautiful house and whatnot. And the stonecutter is just a real envious type of guy. And he's thinking to himself, you know what? I wish I was a wealthy merchant because I'd have that beautiful home. Before you know it, he became the wealthy merchant. So now he's a wealthy merchant. He's sitting in front of his beautiful home, admiring his home. He's thinking to himself, wow, this is an amazing house. I'm so happy now. Then all of a sudden, he sees this processional, right? So it's usually what's happening is that it's a high official. So it's this high official. He has all his people in front of him, almost kind of like a parade, and they're walking in front of him. And then he has these soldiers that are carrying him on this chair. And basically, when the high official passes by, he's like the king of the town or whatever. So when the high official passes by, everybody has to bow. Everyone has to salute him. Everyone has to bow to him or whatever. So the high official passes by. Everybody's bowing. And then now the stonecutter is thinking to himself, now he's a wealthy merchant. So now he's thinking to himself, man, my life really isn't that great. I wish I was the high official because remember now, the high official is escorted by all these people, all these soldiers. They're carrying him on this chair, on this beautiful chair. So now the wealthy merchant, the guy who turned into the wealthy merchant, he forgot about what he has. He just really wanted to have that nice, beautiful home, and he had what he thought he wanted. But then now he sees the high official and he says, you know what? I wish I could be the high official because everybody would have to bow to me. People would be carrying me around in this beautiful chair and whatnot. All of a sudden, he becomes the high official. So he's the high official. He's going through town, going from town to town. Everybody's bowing in front of him, and he's just loving life now. He thinks life is just so great now, right? They're carrying him in his chair, but guess what? His chair becomes so sticky because guess what? Because it's so hot outside. So it's so hot, he's sweating, his chair becomes sticky, and then he's thinking to himself, man, this chair is really uncomfortable. And he looks up at the sun and he says, man, that sun is so powerful. That sun is causing me to sweat, and it's providing light over all these fields, over the whole town, over the whole world. I wish I could be the sun. Now remember now, he started out as a stonecutter. Then he became the wealthy merchant with the beautiful home. Now he's the high official because everyone is carrying him around and whatnot. He has the respect of everyone, but he wants more. So he looks up at that sun and says, man, I wish I could become the sun. I wish I could become the sun because I'd be so powerful. Everyone would see my light all over the place. Bam! All of a sudden, before you know it, he becomes the sun. So now he's the sun. He can see everything all across earth. His rays, his sun rays are shining all over the place, and he's beside himself now. He's like, man, what is better than me? Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this huge black cloud comes in front of him and blocks his view to the earth. So then he thinking to himself, hold up, they can't even see me anymore. So now he's not happy being the sun. He's saying to himself, you know what? This black cloud is preventing everyone from seeing me. I wish I was the black cloud. If I was this powerful storm cloud, then everyone would see me because now I'm the sun and no one can see me anymore. I wish I was a cloud. So guess what? Bam, he becomes the storm cloud. So now he's the storm cloud and he's on high because he's not being blocked anymore by the sun because he's actually the storm cloud. Then all of a sudden, this powerful wind comes and blows him away. And he's like, what? What's going on? The wind blows him away. So anyway, he says to himself, man, I wish I was the wind because the wind is so powerful, it just completely blew me away. So he becomes the wind. So now he's the wind. He thinks he's the most powerful force on earth. And then the wind is just blowing everything, blowing everything, blowing everything. He's blowing tiles off of people's roofs. He's blowing stuff all over the place and whatnot. And he thinks he's just so powerful. And he's on cloud 9 because he's just so powerful because he can blow anything away that he sees on earth until he tries to blow this massive rock. And guess what? He can't blow the rock. Now, he thought he can blow anything because before he was blowing people's houses away. He was blowing anything that he wanted away. But he comes upon this massive rock and he can't blow the rock. And now he's envious and upset again because he can't blow the rock. So then he says to himself, man, I wish I was that rock because that's the one thing that the wind can't blow away. Before you know it, he becomes the rock. So he's the rock now. He's this massive rock. And he says, you know what? I am now the most powerful force on this earth. Not even the wind can blow me away. And he's on cloud 9 now. Then all of a sudden he hears this hammering on him. And he's like, what is that? Then all of a sudden, he feels himself changing. And he's like, what's going on? And as he looks down, he realizes that the stone cutter is pounding away at him, changing him. That story is just an example on how many people go through life and thinks that the grass is always greener on the other side. This man, he started out as a stone cutter, right? He was unhappy being the stone cutter. Then he went to the wealthy merchant. He got that for a time being and was unhappy with that after a while. Then he became the high official. He was happy being the high official for a while, then became unhappy with that. Then he became the sun. Was happy being the sun because he was bright and above everything. Then he thought that there was something better than being the sun. He wanted to become the black cloud. Then after the black cloud, the wind. Then after the wind, he wanted to become the stone, only to realize that what he was originally could go ahead and to change the stone. So it's just a great example in life that, we need to be content with where we are at. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. I know a lot of times we think that people's lives are better than our lives. We think that what other people have is better than what we have. And what you realize is that once you get all that stuff, it's not any much better. Be content, be happy with whatever it is that you do have. All right. I hope you guys got something from that story, and I will see you next week.